In the darkness of ancient times, when the skies were painted with the whispers of myth and the world was yet to fully understand its mysteries, there existed a figure who sparked both fear and fascination. His name was Lucifer, a name that has echoed through history with a haunting beauty and an unsettling edge. Lucifer, a name that literally means light-bringer or morning star, was once a figure of pure brilliance and divine grace. He was created as a radiant angel, shining brightly among the heavenly host. His light was not just a physical glow, but a symbol of his supreme beauty and wisdom. Imagine a being so resplendent that even the heavens themselves basked in his brilliance. This was Lucifer, the embodiment of what was pure and perfect. But in the grand tapestry of divine creation, something went awry. The very light that once represented purity became a symbol of rebellion. Lucifer's story takes a dramatic turn as he grapples with his own immense power and pride. His heart, once filled with love for the divine, began to harbor seeds of discontent. The very attributes that made him extraordinary, his intelligence, his beauty, and his ambition, started to unravel, leading him down a path that would forever change his fate. In Christian tradition, this transformation is depicted as Lucifer's tragic fall from grace. He was not merely cast out, but became a symbol of defiance against the divine order. This fall from the celestial heights was not just a physical descent, but an emotional and spiritual catastrophe. Picture the heartache of losing something as precious as the divine light, something that once represented the highest of ideals. Lucifer's rebellion became a poignant symbol of the consequences of pride and disobedience. Yet, this story does not belong to Christianity alone. Across different cultures and religions, Lucifer's tale has taken on various forms, each adding layers of complexity and emotion to his myth. In Judaism, he is sometimes associated with the angel Samael, a figure who also grapples with darkness and destruction. This connection adds a layer of depth to his character, portraying him as a being who is not only fallen but also intrinsically linked to the struggle between good and evil. In Islamic tradition, the story shifts yet again. Lucifer is known as Iblis, a proud jinn who refused to bow to Adam. His refusal and subsequent fall are viewed through a lens of pride and arrogance, emphasizing the consequences of defying divine will. The story of Iblis adds a nuanced perspective on Lucifer's character, depicting him not just as a fallen angel but as a being whose actions had far-reaching implications for humanity. Throughout these different traditions, Lucifer's role evolves, reflecting various facets of the human condition. He becomes a complex figure embodying both the allure of forbidden knowledge and the tragedy of inevitable downfall. Each culture adds its own emotional layer to the myth, portraying Lucifer not only as a fallen being but as a poignant symbol of the eternal struggle between light and darkness. In the echoes of these stories, one can sense the deep sorrow and the endless debate that has surrounded Lucifer. His journey from the most exalted of angels to a fallen figure who embodies the ultimate rebellion speaks to something profound within us all. It's a tale of beauty turned bitter, of light that fades into shadow, and of a being whose legacy has become a powerful metaphor for the consequences of defying the divine. As we reflect on the myth of Lucifer, it is impossible to ignore the emotional weight of his story. It's not just a tale of a fallen angel, but a reflection of the timeless themes of pride, rebellion, and redemption. Lucifer's myth, in its various forms and interpretations, captures the heartache and the profound consequences of his actions, painting a picture of a being who was once luminous and pure, but whose story has become a powerful symbol of transformation and loss. In a time long ago, when ancient scrolls were still being penned and the world was a tapestry of stories waiting to be told, there is a verse that holds a striking tale. The verse is Isaiah 14 verse 12, and it speaks of a figure whose fall from grace became one of the most powerful symbols in religious history. This verse reads, "How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn! You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations." In these words, there's a powerful image of a celestial being, once revered and exalted, now cast down from the heavens. The term morning star here is crucial. It's a metaphor that speaks to brilliance and beauty. It was used to describe a being whose light once shone with an unmatched glory. But this wasn't just a fall from a place of high honor. It was a dramatic and heartbreaking descent from the highest heights to the depths of despair. Imagine the shock and sorrow felt by the heavenly host as they witnessed this grand being, who had once been a beacon of light, now stripped of all glory and cast down to earth. This wasn't merely a physical fall, but an emotional and spiritual crash that left scars not only on the fallen but on those who remained. The historical and linguistic context of this verse adds even more depth to the story. In ancient Hebrew, the term used here is Hillel ben Shakar, which translates to Shining One, Son of the Dawn. This phrase was not originally intended to refer to a fallen angel but rather to a proud Babylonian king. It was a way of mocking the king's arrogance and proclaiming his eventual downfall. The king's hubris was so great that he was compared to a once brilliant star now fallen and dimmed. However, over time, this image took on a new meaning. Early Christian writers, who looked back at this passage, began to see it as a reference to Lucifer. They saw in this description a parallel to the fall of the angel who became Satan. The transformation of the term from a Babylonian king to a celestial being speaks to how this image captured the imagination and sorrow of many generations. To truly grasp the emotional impact of this passage, consider the contrast it presents, from morning star to fallen one. This wasn't just about losing power, it was about losing an entire identity, a fall from a state of grace into a state of shame. The morning star, which once symbolized the dawn and the promise of a new day, became a symbol of despair and downfall. It's a powerful representation of how something once brilliant can become a shadow of its former self, and how the loss of such brilliance can be profoundly felt. The verse captures a timeless theme, the fall of someone or something from a state of exaltation to a state of humiliation. It's a story that touches on the very core of human emotions, the pain of seeing someone or something that once stood at the pinnacle of greatness now reduced to obscurity. The fall of the morning star serves as a metaphor for this deep sense of loss and sorrow, a symbol that resonates with the universal experience of seeing greatness diminish. In the shadows of this ancient text, there lies a powerful and poignant story of loss, pride, and downfall. It speaks to something deeply human and universally understood, the tragedy of falling from grace and the emotional weight that such a fall carries. This passage from Isaiah, while rooted in its historical context, has evolved into a powerful symbol that evokes the deepest feelings of sorrow and reflection. In the New Testament, the figure of Lucifer transforms from a fallen star into a darker, more sinister presence. The Gospels give us glimpses of this figure, not by name, but through the echo of his actions and the profound impact he has on the spiritual world. In the Gospel of Luke, there is a striking moment when Jesus says, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven," Luke 10 verse 18. This brief yet powerful statement carries with it the weight of Lucifer's fall from grace, now revealed as Satan, the adversary. The imagery of lightning, swift and devastating, speaks to the sudden and dramatic nature of this fall. It's as if Jesus is showing us a glimpse into a celestial drama, where the once brilliant figure is cast down in a flash, embodying the ultimate loss of divine favor. This image of Satan's fall resonates deeply. It's not just about a celestial being being cast down, it's about the emotional depth of such a fall. The lightning that brings the figure down also symbolizes a break, a rupture between heaven and earth. It's a reminder of the intense, almost heartbreaking reality of the betrayal and the subsequent loss. The pain of watching someone who was once so high and powerful fall so far is palpable in this moment. The influence of these references on Christian theology is profound. The story of Lucifer's transformation into Satan becomes a foundational piece in understanding the nature of evil and temptation. Jesus' mention of Satan's fall highlights the reality of a cosmic battle between good and evil, with Lucifer/Satan at the center of this struggle. This battle is not just about grand celestial themes, but about the very essence of moral struggle and temptation faced by humanity. In the New Testament, the influence of Satan goes beyond just a historical or celestial fall. He becomes a personification of temptation, a constant force seeking to lead people astray. The Gospels show Jesus confronting Satan in the wilderness, where he is tempted with promises of power and glory, Matthew 4 verses 1 to 11. This confrontation is not just a battle between Jesus and a fallen angel, it's a direct challenge to the moral integrity and spiritual strength of humanity. It emphasizes the personal and emotional struggle against temptation, mirroring the broader cosmic battle. The portrayal of Satan as a tempter also serves to deepen the emotional impact of Lucifer's fall. It's not just about a distant figure, it's about how this fall affects every individual. The struggle against temptation becomes a deeply personal and emotional experience. The sorrow of Lucifer's fall echoes in the personal battles people face every day, creating a connection between the celestial drama and human experience. Christian theology builds on these gospel references to create a picture of Lucifer as a fallen angel who now plays the role of the ultimate tempter and adversary. This portrayal emphasizes the dramatic shift from a being of light to a figure of darkness, underscoring the emotional depth of the fall. It's a powerful reminder of how far one can fall from grace and the emotional and spiritual impact that such a fall can have on both the divine and human realms. In this context, the figure of Lucifer in the New Testament becomes a profound symbol of the struggle between light and darkness, good and evil. The fall of Lucifer/Satan is not just a historical event, but a deeply emotional and spiritual reality that shapes Christian understanding of temptation, evil, and redemption. The pain of his fall, and the ongoing battle he represents, resonates through the teachings and the lives of those who confront the darkness within and around them. In the shadows of ancient texts that didn't make it into the Bible, the story of Lucifer takes on hauntingly vivid dimensions. These apocryphal texts offer a glimpse into a world of dark intrigue and emotional depth, expanding on the figure of Lucifer in ways that stir both wonder and dread. One such text, the Book of Enoch, provides a dramatic narrative about the fall of the Watchers, a group of angels led by a figure who is sometimes associated with Lucifer. In this story, these angels descend to earth, driven by their own pride and desire. Their rebellion mirrors the sorrowful tale of Lucifer's fall, portraying a group of celestial beings whose descent into sin leads to dire consequences. The emotional weight of their actions is palpable. They are not just cast out, they are imprisoned in a dark abyss, awaiting their final judgment. This imagery resonates with the profound sadness of lost glory and the heavy burden of their rebellion. The Book of Revelation also contains vivid depictions related to Lucifer. It describes a great war in heaven where Michael and his angels fight against the dragon, often interpreted as Satan. The dragon is cast out of heaven and thrown down to earth, symbolizing a dramatic and devastating fall. This celestial battle, with its intense imagery and emotional charge, underscores the epic scale of the struggle between good and evil. The sorrow of this downfall is not just about the loss of power, but the profound disruption it causes in the cosmic order. The dragon's fall is a powerful image of lost hope and the enduring struggle against darkness. When comparing these apocryphal texts with the canonical sources of the Bible, the emotional impact of Lucifer's story becomes even more striking. In canonical texts, such as those found in Isaiah and Revelation, the focus is on the cosmic battle and the moral lessons drawn from Lucifer's fall. These texts are direct and concise, presenting Lucifer as a fallen being whose pride and rebellion lead to his downfall. The sorrow and tragedy are implied through the consequences of his actions and the shift from glory to darkness. In contrast, the apocryphal texts often offer more detailed and emotive narratives. The Book of Enoch, for example, provides not just a fall but an entire saga of rebellion, punishment, and anticipation of final judgment. It paints a picture of not just a single fall, but a series of events that lead to a profound and lasting impact on both the celestial and earthly realms. The emotional depth of these stories captures the full extent of the tragedy, offering a more expansive view of the consequences of rebellion and pride. This emotional intensity is also evident in how these texts describe the reactions of other celestial beings and humans to Lucifer's fall. The apocryphal stories often include poignant reflections on the nature of sin and the sorrow of lost righteousness. These reflections add layers of depth to the understanding of Lucifer's story, portraying it as not just a tale of individual downfall, but a narrative with profound implications for the entire cosmos. The contrast between the canonical and apocryphal portrayals of Lucifer highlights the emotional and spiritual dimensions of his story. While the canonical texts provide a stark and direct account of his fall and its consequences, the apocryphal texts offer a more nuanced and emotionally charged narrative. This richer tapestry of stories deepens the understanding of Lucifer's fall, making it not just a historical or theological event, but a deeply moving and tragic tale that continues to resonate through the ages. In the rich tapestry of Jewish tradition, the figure of Lucifer is more elusive and less defined compared to Christian beliefs. In Jewish thought, the focus isn't so much on a single fallen angel, but on broader themes of rebellion and consequence. The stories and interpretations about Lucifer, or his equivalents, reveal a different perspective, one that's equally powerful and filled with emotional depth. In the Hebrew Bible, the term that comes closest to what Christians call Lucifer is often linked to figures like Samael, or it is part of broader narratives about evil and rebellion. The most notable reference is in the book of Isaiah, where the phrase Helul ben Shakar, translated as Shining One, Son of the Dawn, is used. In Jewish tradition, this term is typically understood as a metaphor for the fall of the Babylonian king, rather than a fallen angel. This interpretation focuses on human pride and the consequences of hubris, rather than a cosmic battle involving a once pure angel. Rabbinic interpretations expand on this by exploring themes of sin and judgment. Rather than depicting a specific fallen angel, Jewish thought often focuses on the nature of evil and its impact on humanity. For example, Samael, a figure sometimes associated with the role of an accuser or adversary, is portrayed in some texts as an angel of death or a force that opposes divine will. This figure is less about a dramatic fall and more about the ongoing struggle between good and evil. The sorrow in these interpretations comes from the broader consequences of sin and the moral lessons derived from these stories. One of the striking differences between Jewish and Christian views is how each tradition handles the concept of a personal adversary. Christianity often emphasizes the dramatic narrative of Lucifer's fall from grace, portraying him as Satan, a singular embodiment of evil. This story is intensely personal and cosmic, focusing on the rebellion of one powerful being and the impact of that rebellion on the entire universe. In contrast, Jewish tradition does not center on a single fallen angel, but rather on the idea of evil and its manifestations. The focus is on the moral and ethical struggles that individuals face, and the stories are less about a specific rebel and more about the nature of sin and divine justice. The emotional weight in Jewish texts comes from understanding the broader implications of these struggles and the ways in which they shape human experience. Another difference lies in how these traditions view the role of evil. In Christianity, the fall of Lucifer is often seen as a pivotal event that explains the presence of evil in the world and the need for redemption. The sorrow and tragedy are tied to the personal story of Lucifer and his transformation into Satan, creating a narrative of cosmic conflict and personal redemption. Jewish tradition, however, views evil as part of a larger framework of divine plan and human choice. The focus is more on how individuals respond to evil and make moral choices. The emotional depth is found in the personal and communal struggle to overcome sin and adhere to divine commandments. The stories and teachings emphasize the ongoing battle between good and evil and how people can find their way through this struggle. The portrayal of Lucifer in Jewish tradition highlights a different kind of emotional resonance. It is less about a dramatic fall and more about the ongoing reality of human struggle and divine justice. The sorrow in these texts often revolves around the broader consequences of sin and the moral lessons learned through these experiences. This approach provides a unique perspective on the themes of pride, rebellion, and redemption, focusing on how these themes play out in the everyday lives of individuals rather than in a cosmic battle. In the Quran, the story of Iblis offers a haunting and deeply emotional narrative that intersects with, yet diverges from, the Christian and Jewish accounts of Lucifer. Iblis's tale is a poignant story of pride, defiance, and profound loss, reflecting a unique perspective on the struggle between good and evil. The Quranic account of Iblis is stark and intense. Iblis was one of the jinn, a race of beings created from smokeless fire, who was present in the heavenly court. When God created Adam, the first human, he commanded all the angels and Iblis to bow before Adam. This was a test of humility and obedience. But Iblis, consumed by pride and arrogance, refused to bow. He saw himself as superior to Adam, made from fire while Adam was made from clay. His refusal was not just an act of defiance, but a profound statement of his belief in his own superiority. In the Quran, this refusal is met with immediate and severe consequences. Iblis is cast out of heaven, but his fall is not just about losing a place of honor. It marks the beginning of a new role as the adversary of humanity. God's reaction to Iblis's pride is one of stern justice. Get out of here. You are accursed. And indeed, my curse is upon you until the day of recompense. Quran 38:77-78. This moment captures the deep emotional weight of Iblis's fall, an expulsion that transforms him from a revered being into a figure of darkness and opposition. The emotional depth of Iblis's story lies in the personal tragedy of his prideful fall. He was once a part of the heavenly assembly, but his refusal to bow to Adam leads to his eternal downfall. His transformation from a respected being into an outcast and adversary mirrors the deep sorrow and regret of lost honor and the profound consequences of pride. When comparing Iblis's story to the Christian and Jewish accounts of Lucifer, the differences become striking. In Christian tradition, Lucifer's fall is depicted as a cosmic rebellion, with his transformation into Satan symbolizing a profound conflict between good and evil. This story focuses on the grand scale of the celestial battle and the moral lessons derived from it. The emotional resonance is tied to the idea of a once pure being now embodying the ultimate evil, a figure whose fall has cosmic implications. In Jewish tradition, the focus is more on the nature of evil and its manifestations rather than on a specific fallen angel. The story of Samuel, for example, represents a broader concept of opposition and death rather than a dramatic personal fall. The emotional impact in Jewish texts is linked to the moral and ethical struggles that these figures represent. Iblis's story in Islam, while sharing similarities with Christian and Jewish traditions in its focus on pride and defiance, emphasizes the personal and direct consequences of rebellion. Iblis's refusal to bow before Adam and his subsequent punishment highlight the intense emotional struggle of pride versus humility. The Quran's portrayal of Iblis as a being who is both cursed and driven by vengeance adds layers of sorrow and complexity to his role. His fall is not just a cosmic event, but a deeply personal tragedy that reflects the ultimate consequences of defying divine will. The emotional weight of Iblis's story in Islam captures the essence of a being who once held a place of honor and respect, but fell to become the embodiment of opposition and darkness. This story resonates with themes of pride, loss, and the profound impact of defying divine authority. The transformation of Iblis from a respected figure to a symbol of eternal conflict underscores the intense personal and cosmic dimensions of his fall. In all three traditions, Christian, Jewish, and Islamic, the figure of the fallen angel or adversary embodies the profound themes of pride, rebellion, and the consequences of defying divine will. While the specifics of the stories vary, the emotional depth of these narratives reflects a shared understanding of the struggles between good and evil, the personal cost of pride, and the ultimate impact of defying the divine order. In the earliest days of Christianity, the figure of Lucifer was not yet fully formed, but began to take shape through the reflections of the Church Fathers. Their writings provide a poignant glimpse into how the story of the fallen angel evolved from abstract scripture into a compelling narrative of cosmic conflict and moral lessons. One of the most influential voices was St. Augustine of Hippo. Augustine, a towering figure in early Christian thought, viewed Lucifer's fall as a profound lesson about pride and disobedience. In his writings, he described Lucifer's rebellion as the ultimate act of defiance against God's perfect order. For Augustine, Lucifer's pride was the root of his downfall. This pride was not just a personal flaw, but a cosmic tragedy that reverberated through the entire creation. Augustine's reflections conveyed a deep sorrow for Lucifer's lost glory and a somber reminder of the consequences of challenging divine authority. The emotional weight of Lucifer's fall was illustrated not just as a loss of power, but as a heartbreaking shift from a state of grace to a state of eternal conflict. Another significant voice was Origen of Alexandria, whose interpretations added depth to the understanding of Lucifer's role. Origen explored the idea that Lucifer's fall was not a sudden act, but a gradual decline fueled by his own growing pride and ambition. His writings portrayed Lucifer's journey with a sense of tragic inevitability. The idea that Lucifer, once a being of light and wisdom, could descend into darkness painted a picture of profound sorrow. Origen's thoughts contributed to a growing sense of empathy and tragedy surrounding Lucifer's fall, transforming it from a mere theological event into a deeply emotional story. As Christian thought evolved, so did the concept of Lucifer. Early Christian thinkers gradually integrated various elements of his story into a more cohesive narrative. By the time of St. Jerome, the figure of Lucifer was closely associated with the devil, with his fall seen as a key moment in the cosmic struggle between good and evil. Jerome's translations and writings reinforced the idea that Lucifer's rebellion was not just a personal act of defiance, but a pivotal event with far-reaching implications. His works captured the profound sense of loss and the emotional depth of Lucifer's transition from a revered angel to the embodiment of evil. In the writings of John Chrysostom, the focus shifted to the moral implications of Lucifer's story. Chrysostom emphasized that Lucifer's fall was a stark warning to humanity about the dangers of pride and rebellion. His reflections were not just about Lucifer's personal tragedy, but about the moral lessons that could be drawn from it. The sorrow of Lucifer's fall was used to illustrate the broader themes of redemption and the importance of humility. Chrysostom's interpretations provided a more practical and emotionally resonant view of Lucifer's story, making it relevant to the everyday struggles of Christians. The evolution of the concept of Lucifer in early Christian thought reflects a growing understanding of his role and impact. From Augustine's focus on pride to Origen's tragic portrayal and Jerome's integration of Lucifer with the devil, the figure of Lucifer became a symbol of the profound struggle between light and darkness. Each thinker added layers of emotional depth and moral significance to the story, transforming it from a scriptural reference into a powerful narrative about the nature of sin, pride, and redemption. The Church Fathers' perspectives on Lucifer reveal a deep and emotional journey from a fallen angel to a central figure in Christian theology. Their writings capture the essence of Lucifer's tragedy, his transformation from a being of light to a symbol of ultimate rebellion. This evolution reflects not just theological development, but a profound engagement with the emotional and moral dimensions of Lucifer's story, making it a powerful and resonant tale for generations of Christians. In the medieval period, the story of Lucifer took on new dimensions that shaped how people understood him and his impact on the world. During this era, scholars and artists painted a vivid and emotional picture of Lucifer, blending theology with imagination to create a powerful symbol of ultimate rebellion and despair. Scholasticism, the dominant intellectual movement of the Middle Ages, played a crucial role in shaping medieval views of Lucifer. Scholastic thinkers, like Thomas Aquinas, approached the story with a rigorous and methodical mindset. They examined Lucifer's fall not only as a theological event, but as a profound moral lesson. For these scholars, Lucifer's rebellion was a dramatic example of the consequences of pride and disobedience. The tale of his fall became a central theme in discussions about the nature of sin and the structure of divine justice. The sorrow of his fall was not just about the loss of a heavenly position, but also about the moral decay that such pride can bring. Aquinas and his contemporaries saw Lucifer as a tragic figure whose once brilliant light had been extinguished by his own hubris, serving as a powerful warning to all who might be tempted by similar pride. The influence of medieval thought extended far beyond academic circles and deeply impacted art and literature. The image of Lucifer as a fallen angel, cast down from the heavens and suffering in eternal torment, became a compelling subject for medieval artists. Cathedrals and churches were adorned with intricate depictions of hell and the fallen angels who inhabited it. These artworks often portrayed Lucifer in dramatic, heart-wrenching scenes, a majestic angel now twisted and tormented, his once beautiful form marred by the agony of his fall. One of the most striking examples of this artistic portrayal can be seen in Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy. In Dante's epic poem, Lucifer is depicted in the deepest, darkest part of hell, frozen in a lake of ice, a stark contrast to his former radiance. The imagery of Lucifer trapped in ice, his once glorious wings now useless and entangled, vividly illustrates the ultimate consequences of his rebellion. This portrayal evokes a deep sense of tragedy and loss, capturing the emotional essence of a being who once stood at the pinnacle of glory but is now subjected to eternal suffering. Medieval literature also reflects the profound impact of Lucifer's story. Works like Paradise Lost by John Milton, though written slightly later, continued the tradition of portraying Lucifer with deep emotional resonance. Milton's depiction of Lucifer as a tragic hero, struggling with his own fallen state, provides a moving exploration of pride, despair, and the quest for redemption. The character's internal conflict and the profound sorrow of his fall resonate deeply, making his story a powerful symbol of human struggle and rebellion against divine order. These artistic and literary portrayals brought Lucifer's story to life in ways that were both imaginative and emotionally charged. They captured the essence of his fall, not just as a theological event, but as a dramatic and tragic transformation. The sorrow of Lucifer's story was made tangible through vivid imagery and powerful narratives, turning his tale into a profound reflection on the nature of pride, sin, and redemption. The medieval views on Lucifer, shaped by scholasticism and reflected in art and literature, offer a rich and emotionally charged perspective on his fall. The blending of rigorous theological analysis with dramatic artistic expression created a compelling and heart-wrenching portrayal of Lucifer's journey from angelic glory to eternal torment. Through these perspectives, the story of Lucifer became a powerful symbol of the ultimate consequences of defiance and pride, touching the hearts and minds of those who encountered it. In the wake of the Renaissance and the Enlightenment, the figure of Lucifer experienced a dramatic transformation. The evolution of theological and philosophical thought during these periods brought new layers of complexity and emotion to the story of the fallen angel. The Renaissance, with its revival of classical learning and humanism, re-examined old beliefs and presented Lucifer in a new light. Theological perspectives shifted from viewing Lucifer solely as a symbol of evil to exploring his character as a tragic figure with depth and complexity. Thinkers and artists began to see Lucifer's fall not just as a straightforward tale of rebellion, but as a profound story of loss and existential struggle. The idea of Lucifer as a being who had once been a shining angel, only to fall to the depths of despair, resonated deeply with the Renaissance's emphasis on human emotion and individual experience. This shift is evident in the works of Renaissance artists who portrayed Lucifer with a striking sense of empathy. In paintings and sculptures, Lucifer was often depicted with an intense and sorrowful expression, emphasizing the tragedy of his fall from grace. One notable example is John Milton's Paradise Lost, written during the early 17th century but reflecting Renaissance ideas. Milton's portrayal of Lucifer is deeply emotional, presenting him as a fallen hero who grapples with his own despair and disillusionment. This depiction of Lucifer as a tragic and complex character, rather than a one-dimensional villain, highlights the emotional weight of his story and reflects the Renaissance's fascination with human psychology and drama. As the Enlightenment unfolded, the focus shifted toward reason and skepticism. This new era questioned traditional religious narratives and sought to understand the world through science and rational thought. In this context, Lucifer's story was reinterpreted with a focus on human reason and ethical questions. Philosophers and writers began to explore Lucifer not only as a religious symbol but as a metaphor for rebellion against oppressive authority. The Enlightenment's emphasis on individualism and questioning of established norms gave rise to a portrayal of Lucifer as a symbol of intellectual freedom and resistance. One of the most evocative representations of Lucifer from this period comes from the works of William Blake. Blake's illustrations for Paradise Lost depict Lucifer with a profound sense of both grandeur and melancholy. His art captures the duality of Lucifer as both a fallen angel and a defiant figure, reflecting the Enlightenment's fascination with individualism and resistance. Blake's imagery presents Lucifer as a tragic hero, struggling with his own internal conflict and existential despair. The emotional depth of Blake's work underscores the impact of Enlightenment thought on the portrayal of Lucifer, emphasizing the complexity and tragedy of his character. The Enlightenment also saw a shift in how literature approached Lucifer. Writers like Goethe, with his Faust, explored themes of ambition, knowledge, and redemption through the lens of Luciferian characters. Goethe's portrayal of Mephistopheles, a character with parallels to Lucifer, reflects the Enlightenment's interest in human fallibility and the quest for meaning. This representation of Luciferian figures as embodiments of human struggle and intellectual rebellion captures the emotional resonance of their stories in a new and profound way. These periods brought new dimensions to the story of Lucifer, emphasizing his emotional and philosophical complexity. The Renaissance's focus on individual experience and the Enlightenment's quest for intellectual freedom transformed Lucifer from a symbol of straightforward evil into a figure embodying profound human themes of loss, rebellion, and existential struggle. The emotional depth of these portrayals reflects the evolving understanding of Lucifer and his role in the human experience, making his story a powerful and moving reflection on the nature of pride, despair, and defiance. In today's world, the story of Lucifer continues to evolve, shaped by contemporary theological interpretations and the powerful influence of popular culture. The figure of Lucifer, once a symbol of ultimate rebellion, has taken on new dimensions that reflect modern sensibilities and concerns, presenting a complex and emotionally charged character. Modern Christianity has seen a shift in how Lucifer is interpreted. The traditional view of Lucifer as merely the embodiment of evil has expanded into more nuanced theological perspectives. Many contemporary theologians approach Lucifer's story with a focus on its symbolic meaning rather than just a literal interpretation. This shift often reflects a desire to understand the moral and existential lessons embedded in the narrative. Some theologians view Lucifer's fall as a metaphor for the consequences of pride and the importance of humility. The story is seen as a powerful allegory about the dangers of overstepping one's bounds and challenging the divine order. The emotional weight of Lucifer's story is felt in the profound loss of potential and the tragic path that pride can carve. This modern perspective highlights the sorrow of Lucifer's fall not just as a cosmic event, but as a deeply personal tragedy, illustrating the cost of defying divine authority. Another contemporary approach focuses on the philosophical aspects of Lucifer's rebellion. Some modern thinkers interpret Lucifer's defiance as a struggle for self-determination and freedom. This interpretation can evoke empathy for Lucifer's plight, seeing his rebellion not only as an act of defiance but as a quest for autonomy. The emotional impact of this view is striking, portraying Lucifer as a tragic figure grappling with profound questions of identity and purpose. This perspective adds layers of complexity to the story, transforming it into a reflection on the human desire for freedom and the consequences of pursuing it. In popular culture, Lucifer's story has been reimagined in ways that resonate with contemporary audiences. Television shows, movies, and literature have brought new life to the character, exploring themes of redemption, conflict, and personal struggle. One notable example is the TV show Lucifer, which presents the fallen angel as a charming, conflicted anti-hero who grapples with his own moral dilemmas. This modern portrayal humanizes Lucifer, presenting him as a character who struggles with his own identity and purpose, adding emotional depth to his story. Popular culture often emphasizes the internal conflict and personal tragedy of Lucifer. In these representations, he is not just a figure of evil but a being caught between his former glory and his current suffering. The emotional portrayal of Lucifer in these narratives can evoke sympathy and reflect the complexities of human experience. By exploring themes of redemption and self-discovery, modern media presents Lucifer's story as a powerful exploration of personal struggle and the search for meaning. The impact of these modern interpretations is profound. They offer new ways of understanding Lucifer's fall, highlighting the emotional and existential dimensions of his story. Whether through theological discussions that emphasize moral lessons or popular culture that reimagines him as a complex anti-hero, Lucifer's tale continues to captivate and resonate with people in deep and meaningful ways. The sorrow and struggle inherent in his story are experienced in new contexts, reflecting the evolving ways in which humanity grapples with questions of pride, rebellion, and redemption. Lucifer, in his fall from grace, has become an enduring symbol of rebellion, resonating deeply throughout history and literature. His story transcends its origins, evolving into a powerful emblem of defiance against authority and the quest for personal freedom. The emotional weight of his rebellion is felt in the ways he has inspired and reflected social and political movements over the centuries. Historically, the figure of Lucifer has been employed to represent the struggle against oppression and the fight for individual rights. During times of political upheaval, his story has often been invoked as a symbol of resistance against tyranny and unjust rule. The narrative of Lucifer's defiance against divine authority echoes the struggles of those challenging oppressive systems. This symbolism has captured the imaginations of many who have fought for change, seeing in Lucifer a reflection of their own struggle against overwhelming odds. In literature, Lucifer's rebellion has been depicted with a mix of admiration and sorrow. Writers have explored his fall as both a tragic and heroic act, highlighting the emotional turmoil of his defiance. In John Milton's Paradise Lost, Lucifer is portrayed not just as a fallen angel but as a charismatic and tragic figure whose rebellion against God is framed as a profound struggle for autonomy. Milton's portrayal captures the sorrow and grandeur of Lucifer's defiance, making him a powerful symbol of the fight for personal freedom and the high cost of challenging established authority. The impact of Lucifer as a symbol of rebellion extends into modern times, influencing various social and political movements. His image has been embraced by groups advocating for personal liberty and challenging established norms. The resonance of Lucifer's story in these contexts speaks to the universal themes of resistance and the pursuit of freedom. His role as a symbol of rebellion reflects the enduring appeal of challenging authority and the emotional weight of standing up against powerful forces. In political discourse, Lucifer has been used as a metaphor for the struggle against entrenched power. His story embodies the tension between the individual and the collective, the personal and the institutional. This metaphor has been powerful in rallying people to fight for their rights and challenge the status quo. The emotional intensity of Lucifer's fall, the tragedy of his lost glory, and the pain of his rebellion mirrors the struggles faced by those seeking to break free from oppressive systems and assert their own identities. The symbolism of Lucifer also finds expression in popular culture, where he is often depicted as a complex anti-hero who fights against the forces of conformity and control. This portrayal reflects contemporary attitudes toward rebellion and individualism. In television shows, films, and literature, Lucifer is frequently shown as a character who questions authority and fights for his own path, resonating with audiences who grapple with their own struggles against societal expectations. The emotional power of Lucifer as a symbol of rebellion lies in his profound transformation, from a once glorious angel to a figure of eternal conflict. His story captures the high stakes of defying authority and the deep personal cost of such rebellion. This portrayal speaks to the universal human experience of standing up against overwhelming odds and the intense emotions that accompany such struggles. Lucifer's journey from a figure of light to a symbol of defiance illustrates the powerful impact of rebellion on both individual and collective levels. His story resonates with those who challenge the status quo and seek to assert their own freedom. The emotional weight of his fall and the grandeur of his rebellion continue to inspire and reflect the struggles of those fighting for change, making Lucifer a poignant and enduring symbol of resistance and personal autonomy. The story of Lucifer has sparked the imagination of countless artists and writers, leading to some of the most haunting and powerful depictions in art and literature. His fall from grace, charged with emotional depth and cosmic significance, has been captured in vivid imagery and poignant narratives that resonate deeply with audiences. One of the most iconic artistic representations of Lucifer is found in the paintings of the Renaissance period. Artists like Gustave Doré and William Blake created striking visuals that have become emblematic of Lucifer's tragic fall. In Doré's illustrations for Dante's Inferno, Lucifer is depicted in a frozen lake at the center of hell, his immense wings spread out and trapped in the ice. The contrast between his once majestic presence and his current state of frozen despair captures the emotional devastation of his fall. The sheer scale of his suffering, rendered with dramatic intensity, evokes a deep sense of sorrow and pity. William Blake's work offers another profound representation. His illustrations for Milton's Paradise Lost present Lucifer in a complex light. Blake's Lucifer is not just a figure of evil but a tragic hero with an aura of defiant grandeur. Blake's art conveys the emotional turmoil of Lucifer's rebellion and his ultimate fall from grace. The powerful imagery of a once great angel now cast down and struggling with profound internal conflict speaks to the deep emotional layers of Lucifer's story, portraying him as a symbol of both grandeur and tragedy. In literature, Lucifer's portrayal has been equally compelling. John Milton's Paradise Lost is perhaps the most famous literary exploration of Lucifer. Milton's portrayal of Lucifer as a charismatic and tragic figure is both moving and thought-provoking. Lucifer's famous declaration, "Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven," encapsulates his defiant spirit and the depth of his personal conflict. Milton's portrayal adds emotional weight to Lucifer's rebellion, presenting him as a complex character whose struggle with his own identity and purpose evokes both admiration and sorrow. Another significant literary portrayal comes from John Milton's contemporary, William Blake, whose works continue to influence interpretations of Lucifer. Blake's poems and illustrations present Lucifer as a fallen angel grappling with profound existential questions. Blake's imagery often emphasizes the grandeur of Lucifer's former state juxtaposed with the agony of his current plight. This contrast captures the emotional intensity of Lucifer's fall and his ongoing struggle with his own sense of self. Modern literature has also continued to explore Lucifer's character with depth and nuance. In contemporary works, Lucifer is frequently depicted as a complex anti-hero, embodying themes of rebellion, redemption, and personal conflict. Authors and screenwriters often use Lucifer's character to explore broader questions about freedom, authority, and human nature. These modern portrayals reflect a continuing fascination with Lucifer's story and its emotional resonance. The impact of these artistic and literary portrayals lies in their ability to convey the profound emotional and existential dimensions of Lucifer's fall. The dramatic visuals and poignant narratives capture not only the grandeur of his rebellion but also the deep sorrow and struggle that accompany his transformation from a glorious angel to a symbol of defiance and despair. These representations offer a powerful and heart-touching exploration of the themes of pride, rebellion, and redemption, making Lucifer's story a poignant and enduring subject in art and literature. Lucifer, the fallen angel, has carved a prominent place in popular culture, captivating audiences through television, film, and music. His story, laden with themes of rebellion, despair, and redemption, has been reimagined in ways that evoke strong emotions and resonate deeply with modern viewers and listeners. In television, Lucifer has been portrayed with remarkable complexity. The show Lucifer, based on the DC Comics character, presents him as a charming and conflicted anti-hero. This series reinvents Lucifer not just as a figure of evil but as someone grappling with his own identity and purpose. The emotional depth of the character, combined with his humorous and charismatic portrayal, allows viewers to connect with him on a personal level. This modern interpretation of Lucifer highlights his struggle with his own nature and his quest for meaning, making his character both relatable and profoundly moving. The show explores his internal conflict and his desire for redemption, painting a picture of Lucifer that is both tragic and empathetic. Film adaptations have also explored Lucifer's character with a mix of awe and melancholy. Movies like The Devil's Advocate depict Lucifer in ways that challenge traditional notions of evil. In such films, Lucifer is often portrayed as a charismatic and persuasive figure, embodying both the allure and the danger of temptation. The emotional tension in these portrayals is palpable, as characters confront the seductive power of Lucifer and the high stakes of their moral choices. The portrayal of Lucifer in these films evokes a deep sense of conflict and despair, emphasizing the personal and existential stakes of his influence. Music has also played a significant role in shaping modern perceptions of Lucifer. Songs and albums across various genres have drawn on Lucifer's story to explore themes of rebellion, identity, and inner turmoil. From rock anthems to dark, brooding tracks, musicians have used Lucifer as a symbol to express the struggle against societal norms and personal demons. The emotional power of these songs often lies in their exploration of the conflict between light and darkness, good and evil. The portrayal of Lucifer in music is not just about the figure of the fallen angel, but about the universal human experience of grappling with inner conflicts and seeking redemption. The influence of Lucifer on modern mythmaking is profound. By reimagining him through contemporary lenses, popular culture has transformed his story into a versatile and emotionally charged symbol. This reinvention allows audiences to explore themes of defiance, identity, and redemption in ways that resonate with current experiences and concerns. The portrayal of Lucifer in popular culture reflects a broader fascination with complex characters who challenge authority and confront their own struggles. This modern mythmaking continues to shape how people understand and relate to the themes of rebellion and redemption, making Lucifer's story a powerful and enduring part of cultural discourse. In all these forms of popular culture, Lucifer is depicted with an emotional depth that transcends traditional interpretations. Whether through television, film, or music, his character is portrayed as a complex and compelling figure, embodying both the grandeur of his fall and the personal anguish of his rebellion. This multifaceted portrayal makes Lucifer a powerful symbol of the struggle between light and darkness, capturing the hearts and imaginations of modern audiences. Lucifer's story resonates deeply with the human psyche, serving as a powerful symbol of our inner struggles and conflicts. His tale of pride, rebellion, and fall mirrors the complex emotional and psychological battles that each person faces. Through psychological interpretations, Lucifer becomes a mirror reflecting our own fears, desires, and self-doubt. The figure of Lucifer embodies a profound internal conflict that many people experience. His rebellion against divine authority and his subsequent fall from grace represent the struggle between following established norms and seeking one's own path. This internal battle is not just about defying external forces, but also about confronting one's own sense of self-worth and identity. Lucifer's pride and ultimate downfall resonate with the fear of failure and the pain of realizing that one's ambitions may come at a great cost. In psychological terms, Lucifer can be seen as a symbol of the darker aspects of the human psyche. His defiance and rebellion are reflections of the inner conflicts that arise when one feels constrained by societal expectations or personal limitations. The emotional turmoil that accompanies his fall illustrates the psychological struggle between the desire for personal freedom and the consequences of pursuing it. Lucifer's story captures the intense feelings of isolation, regret, and anguish that can accompany such internal conflicts. The image of Lucifer as a fallen angel also represents the human experience of dealing with personal failure and the loss of one's former self. His transformation from a radiant being to a symbol of despair reflects the emotional pain of losing one's sense of purpose or identity. This portrayal speaks to the universal fear of falling short of one's own ideals and the sorrow that comes from confronting the gap between who we aspire to be and who we feel we have become. Psychological interpretations of Lucifer also explore the concept of self-sabotage. His rebellion, driven by pride and ambition, leads to his own downfall, echoing how individuals can sometimes undermine their own success through their actions and choices. Lucifer's story serves as a powerful metaphor for the ways in which personal flaws and internal conflicts can derail one's path, highlighting the emotional consequences of self-destructive behavior. The symbol of Lucifer also addresses the existential struggle of finding meaning and purpose in life. His quest for autonomy and defiance against a higher power can be seen as a reflection of the human search for personal significance and the tension between adhering to external standards and creating one's own path. The emotional weight of Lucifer's rebellion speaks to the deeper questions of existence and the often painful journey of self-discovery. The complexity of Lucifer's character, with his blend of pride, ambition, and tragedy, resonates with the human experience of grappling with inner demons and seeking redemption. His story highlights the emotional depth of personal conflict, making him a powerful symbol of the struggle between self-assertion and the consequences of defying one's own values and beliefs. Lucifer's tale, with its rich emotional and psychological layers, reflects the profound and often painful journey of understanding oneself and navigating the complexities of personal ambition and self-identity. His fall from grace serves as a poignant reminder of the inner conflicts that shape our lives and the emotional cost of confronting our deepest fears and desires. The story of Lucifer, with its profound moral and philosophical dimensions, challenges our understanding of ethics and morality in striking ways. His rebellion against divine authority and the consequences of his actions raised difficult questions about the nature of right and wrong, and the price of challenging established norms. At the heart of Lucifer's narrative lies a profound ethical dilemma. His defiance of God's authority can be interpreted as a struggle for personal freedom against the constraints imposed by a higher power. This rebellion presents a complex ethical question. Is it justifiable to defy authority if it means pursuing one's own beliefs and desires? Lucifer's choice to rebel, driven by his ambition and pride, reflects a deep-seated conflict between individual autonomy and obedience to a higher power. The emotional intensity of his fall highlights the moral cost of such defiance, raising questions about whether the pursuit of personal freedom is worth the ultimate price of isolation and damnation. Philosophically, Lucifer's story sparks debates about the nature of morality and the role of free will. His fall from grace is often seen as a consequence of his own choices, suggesting that moral responsibility lies in the exercise of free will. This raises a poignant question. To what extent are individuals responsible for their actions, especially when those actions are driven by a deep-seated desire for autonomy or self-realization? Lucifer's rebellion illustrates the complex interplay between personal freedom and moral responsibility, challenging us to consider the ethical implications of exercising free will in the face of divine or societal expectations. The narrative of Lucifer also engages with the concept of pride and its moral implications. His downfall is often attributed to his excessive pride and ambition, raising questions about the ethical limits of self-assertion. Is there a point at which striving for greatness becomes morally unacceptable? Lucifer's story serves as a powerful reminder of the potential dangers of unchecked ambition and the ethical boundaries of pursuing one's own goals at the expense of others or oneself. The emotional weight of his fall underscores the moral tension between personal aspiration and the consequences of exceeding ethical boundaries. Moreover, Lucifer's rebellion invites reflection on the nature of justice and punishment. His eternal suffering is a stark portrayal of divine retribution, prompting us to question the fairness and ethics of such a punishment. The emotional depth of his plight raises uncomfortable questions about the nature of justice. Is eternal damnation a just response to rebellion? How does one reconcile the concept of divine justice with the immense suffering of a fallen being? These questions probe the philosophical debates surrounding the nature of justice and the moral implications of punishment. Lucifer's narrative also touches upon the philosophical debate between determinism and free will. His rebellion and subsequent fall can be viewed through the lens of determinism, where his actions are seen as inevitable due to his nature and circumstances. Alternatively, his choice to rebel can be interpreted as an exercise of free will, emphasizing the moral significance of individual decisions. This duality in his story prompts a deeper examination of the nature of free will and its impact on moral responsibility, highlighting the emotional and ethical complexities of his rebellion. In exploring Lucifer's story, we confront the profound moral and philosophical questions of autonomy, pride, justice, and responsibility. His narrative, marked by intense emotional and ethical conflicts, challenges our understanding of right and wrong and the consequences of defying established norms. Through Lucifer's fall, we are invited to reflect on the deeper questions of morality and the human condition, grappling with the emotional and philosophical weight of his choices and their implications for our own understanding of ethical principles. Lucifer's story reaches far beyond its religious origins, becoming a powerful cultural archetype that touches on universal themes and influences societal norms and values. As a symbol, Lucifer represents the archetype of the rebel, the outcast, and the seeker of truth, embodying the deep-seated human struggle between conformity and individuality. At his core, Lucifer stands as the ultimate symbol of rebellion. His defiance against a higher power and subsequent fall from grace make him an enduring figure of resistance against established order. This archetype resonates with anyone who has ever felt constrained by societal expectations or personal limitations. His story captures the raw emotion of challenging authority and the often painful consequences of seeking one's own path. Lucifer's rebellion is not just a story of defiance, but a profound reflection of the human quest for freedom and self-expression. The archetype of Lucifer also explores the concept of the outcast. His transformation from a beloved angel to a figure of eternal damnation makes him a powerful symbol of isolation and alienation. This portrayal resonates with the universal experience of feeling estranged or misunderstood. Lucifer's story taps into the deep emotional pain of being cast out and the struggle to find one's place in a world that seems unforgiving. His narrative gives voice to the feelings of rejection and loss that many people experience, turning his story into a poignant reflection on the human condition. As a seeker of truth, Lucifer embodies the intense pursuit of knowledge and enlightenment, even at great personal cost. His quest for autonomy and understanding reflects a broader cultural value placed on intellectual and personal freedom. The emotional depth of his rebellion and subsequent fall illustrates the high price of challenging conventional wisdom and pursuing one's own truth. This aspect of Lucifer's archetype speaks to the ongoing human drive to question, explore, and seek deeper understanding, despite the potential for profound personal sacrifice. Lucifer's influence on cultural norms and values is significant. His story has shaped how we view rebellion and authority, often romanticizing the struggle against oppressive systems. In literature, art, and popular culture, Lucifer's character has become a symbol of defiance and the quest for personal freedom. This cultural impact reinforces the value placed on individualism and challenges the often rigid structures of societal norms. By embodying the struggle between conformity and rebellion, Lucifer's story continues to inspire those who seek to challenge the status quo and forge their own path. Moreover, Lucifer's archetype has influenced our understanding of moral and ethical boundaries. His fall from grace serves as a powerful reminder of the potential consequences of defying established norms and seeking personal freedom. This influence is evident in the way society grapples with issues of authority, ethics, and personal responsibility. Lucifer's story prompts us to consider the balance between challenging existing structures and the potential fallout from such actions, shaping our approach to moral and ethical dilemmas. The emotional resonance of Lucifer as a cultural archetype lies in his ability to embody the universal experiences of rebellion, isolation, and the pursuit of truth. His story captures the profound emotional struggles of challenging authority and seeking personal freedom, reflecting the deep-seated human desire to understand and define oneself against societal expectations. Lucifer's influence on cultural norms and values underscores the enduring relevance of his story and its impact on how we navigate the complex interplay between individuality and conformity. Lucifer's story of rebellion and fall is not unique in the tapestry of myth and legend. His tale echoes the narratives of other fallen figures like Prometheus and Loki, each embodying their own versions of defiance and suffering. These stories, while different in specifics, share a deep emotional core that resonates across cultures and ages, illustrating the timeless nature of the struggle against oppression and the quest for knowledge. Prometheus, the Titan from Greek mythology, is a figure who parallels Lucifer in many ways. Just as Lucifer defied God by seeking personal freedom and understanding, Prometheus defied Zeus, the king of the gods, by stealing fire and giving it to humanity. This act of rebellion was driven by a profound desire to uplift humanity and grant them knowledge and power. The pain Prometheus endures, bound to a rock where an eagle tears at his liver daily, mirrors the eternal suffering of Lucifer. Both figures face immense punishment for their acts of defiance, embodying the high cost of challenging divine authority. Loki, from Norse mythology, offers another poignant comparison. Loki's story is one of cunning and mischief, but also of a deep-seated rebellion against the gods of Asgard. His ultimate betrayal leads to chaos and destruction, culminating in his binding and the foretold events of Ragnarok. Loki's fall is characterized by his transformation from a trickster to a symbol of chaotic defiance. Like Lucifer, Loki's narrative is marked by the consequences of crossing a line set by higher powers and the subsequent isolation from his former allies. Each of these fallen figures shares a common thread: they defy divine or societal order and face profound consequences. Lucifer's story of pride and rebellion, Prometheus's gift of fire, and Loki's chaotic defiance all illustrate the intense personal cost associated with challenging established norms. Their stories evoke a deep sense of tragedy and loss, as they highlight the emotional turmoil and suffering that come with their acts of defiance. The cross-cultural analysis of these fall narratives reveals a shared human experience. Each figure represents the struggle against oppressive authority and the quest for personal or collective enlightenment. These stories are not just about the individuals themselves, but about the universal themes of rebellion, sacrifice, and the search for meaning. They capture the emotional weight of confronting and defying higher powers, offering a powerful reflection on the human condition. The pain and suffering of these fallen figures resonate deeply because they reflect our own fears and desires. Prometheus's torment, Loki's chaos, and Lucifer's eternal damnation all symbolize the high stakes of challenging established systems. These narratives evoke a profound emotional response as they capture the cost of defiance and the personal sacrifices made in the pursuit of freedom and understanding. Each figure's fall also speaks to the broader cultural values and fears surrounding rebellion and authority. Lucifer's pride and subsequent punishment, Prometheus's gift and eternal suffering, and Loki's betrayal and chaos all reflect different cultural attitudes towards defiance and its consequences. These stories offer insights into how different cultures perceive the cost of challenging higher powers and the emotional impact of such acts. In the end, the stories of Lucifer, Prometheus, and Loki highlight the universal nature of the struggle against oppression and the pursuit of knowledge. Their falls from grace are marked by intense emotional experiences and profound consequences, making them powerful symbols of rebellion and sacrifice across cultures and ages. These narratives resonate deeply with our own struggles and desires, offering a poignant reflection on the cost of defying authority and the enduring quest for personal freedom. Lucifer's figure, often seen through a lens of defiance and rebellion, takes on a deeply mystical and enigmatic role in occult and esoteric traditions. His story transforms from one of mere fall and punishment into a profound symbol of enlightenment and transformation, embodying the intense journey from darkness to light. In occult practices, Lucifer is not always depicted as the villain but rather as a potent symbol of enlightenment. Here, he represents the quest for hidden knowledge and the breaking of spiritual and intellectual chains. Unlike the traditional view of Lucifer as merely a fallen angel, occult traditions often view him as a bringer of light and wisdom, a guide through the shadows of ignorance to the illumination of understanding. This perspective highlights a complex duality. Lucifer is both a symbol of profound rebellion and a beacon of deep, often forbidden, knowledge. Occult practices, with their rich tapestry of rituals and symbols, frequently embrace Lucifer as a figure of power and transformation. His association with the quest for secret knowledge makes him a central figure in practices that seek to transcend conventional spiritual boundaries. For practitioners, invoking Lucifer is about seeking the deeper truths hidden behind the surface of reality, pushing beyond societal and spiritual constraints to reach a higher state of understanding. This transformation can be both awe-inspiring and unsettling, as it involves confronting and embracing the darkness within oneself to achieve enlightenment. In esoteric traditions, Lucifer's role is similarly transformative. Esoteric teachings often interpret him as a figure who challenges the status quo, urging seekers to question established beliefs and explore the mysteries of existence. His fall is seen not as a tragic end, but as a necessary step in the process of self-discovery and spiritual growth. By embracing Lucifer's symbolism, esoteric practitioners seek to break free from the limitations imposed by traditional religious doctrines and embark on a personal journey of spiritual awakening. This interpretation presents Lucifer as a catalyst for profound inner change, emphasizing the emotional and spiritual depth of his role in the pursuit of enlightenment. The influence of Lucifer on occult and esoteric traditions reveals a deeper, more nuanced understanding of his character. Rather than being solely a figure of damnation, he emerges as a symbol of the transformative power of questioning and seeking beyond conventional boundaries. His story resonates with those who feel constrained by traditional beliefs and are driven to explore the deeper, often darker aspects of existence. This exploration is not merely about defying norms, but about embracing a profound inner journey that leads to greater self-awareness and spiritual growth. The emotional impact of Lucifer's role in these traditions is significant. His journey from light to darkness and back to a form of enlightened understanding mirrors the intense personal struggles faced by those who embark on spiritual quests. The pain and challenges associated with this journey are real and deeply felt as seekers confront their own fears and limitations in pursuit of a greater truth. Lucifer's story becomes a powerful metaphor for the emotional and spiritual trials of seeking deeper knowledge and breaking free from the constraints of conventional wisdom. Lucifer's influence in occult and esoteric traditions speaks to a broader human desire to understand the mysteries of existence and to challenge the limits of conventional beliefs. His role as a symbol of enlightenment and transformation resonates with those who seek to explore the hidden aspects of reality and embrace a journey of profound personal growth. Through his story, these traditions offer a rich, emotionally charged exploration of the quest for knowledge and the transformative power of challenging established norms. In the shadows of history and the recesses of our collective consciousness, Lucifer's story has left an indelible mark, casting a profound influence on the way we perceive rebellion, freedom, and the quest for knowledge. His legacy is one of paradoxes, of light and darkness, of defiance and enlightenment, and of profound personal sacrifice. Lucifer's impact stretches across centuries and cultures, shaping narratives and beliefs in ways both profound and unsettling. From his origins in religious texts to his role in modern mythology, Lucifer has become a symbol of challenging the status quo. His story has been a powerful touchstone for those who question authority and seek deeper truths beyond conventional boundaries. This complex figure embodies the high cost of defiance, but also the intense personal and intellectual rewards that come from pursuing one's own path. Throughout history, Lucifer has influenced countless individuals and movements. His story of rebellion against divine authority and his subsequent fall from grace have been interpreted in various ways, from a cautionary tale to a celebration of individualism and personal enlightenment. This duality reflects the ongoing human struggle between conformity and the pursuit of truth. In every era, his story has resonated with those who feel constrained by societal norms and yearn for a greater understanding of themselves and the world around them. In contemporary society, Lucifer's legacy is particularly striking. He has become a symbol of personal empowerment and intellectual freedom, often embraced by those who see him as a champion of individualism and self-discovery. His image appears in popular culture, art, and literature as a figure who defies norms and challenges conventional wisdom. This modern portrayal reflects a broader cultural fascination with the themes of rebellion and transformation, showing how Lucifer's story continues to resonate with our collective quest for meaning and understanding. The emotional impact of Lucifer's legacy is profound. His story captures the essence of human struggle, the pain of defiance, the burden of isolation, and the ultimate quest for knowledge. This emotional depth makes his story not just a historical or theological artifact, but a living symbol of our own struggles and aspirations. In contemporary contexts, Lucifer represents the inner conflict between embracing societal expectations and forging one's own path, making his legacy deeply personal and resonant for many. Lucifer's influence is also reflected in the way we understand morality and ethics. His fall and the consequences of his rebellion serve as a powerful reminder of the complexities involved in challenging authority and seeking truth. This reflection shapes our approach to issues of ethics, freedom, and personal responsibility, highlighting the ongoing relevance of his story in navigating the moral landscapes of modern life. In sum, Lucifer's legacy is a testament to the enduring power of his story. His impact on our collective consciousness and societal values is profound, reflecting the deep-seated human desire to explore the unknown and challenge the boundaries of established norms. The emotional and intellectual resonance of his narrative continues to shape our understanding of rebellion, freedom, and the quest for enlightenment, making Lucifer a figure whose influence is both timeless and deeply personal. In the ever-shifting landscape of theology and culture, Lucifer's presence continues to evolve, captivating the human imagination with his complex legacy. The story of this enigmatic figure endures, reflecting our own evolving beliefs and values. His narrative, once confined to ancient texts and religious doctrines, now echoes through modern discussions, artistic expressions, and cultural debates, illustrating a profound and ongoing relevance. As we navigate through contemporary theological discussions, Lucifer's role is increasingly examined through new lenses. Far from being a static symbol of rebellion, he is reinterpreted in ways that challenge traditional understandings. Modern theologians and scholars often view Lucifer not merely as a figure of damnation but as a symbol of the quest for deeper truths and personal enlightenment. This shift reflects a broader trend in theology where the boundaries of established religious doctrines are tested, allowing for a more nuanced understanding of figures like Lucifer. His story is increasingly seen as a metaphor for the struggle to understand and navigate complex moral and spiritual landscapes. In popular culture, Lucifer's presence is equally dynamic. From television shows and films to music and literature, his image has been adapted to reflect contemporary themes and issues. In these modern portrayals, Lucifer is often depicted with a blend of complexity and sympathy, challenging the traditional dichotomy of good versus evil. This evolving portrayal resonates with audiences who see in him a reflection of their own struggles with identity, freedom, and moral ambiguity. The modern depiction of Lucifer as a multifaceted character underscores a cultural shift towards exploring the gray areas of human experience rather than adhering to simplistic notions of virtue and vice. The ongoing relevance of Lucifer in culture is also evident in the way he inspires new forms of artistic expression. Artists and writers use his story to explore themes of rebellion, transformation, and redemption, creating works that reflect contemporary anxieties and aspirations. His figure becomes a canvas upon which complex emotional and philosophical questions are painted, revealing the depth of human experience and the longing for meaning beyond conventional boundaries. This continual reimagining of Lucifer in art and literature underscores his role as a powerful symbol of personal and societal transformation. Moreover, Lucifer's evolving role in contemporary discourse highlights a broader trend in society towards questioning established norms and exploring alternative perspectives. His story serves as a metaphor for the ongoing human struggle to break free from limitations and seek a greater understanding of oneself and the world. In this sense, Lucifer embodies the spirit of inquiry and the desire for deeper truths that drive many of our modern debates and discussions. As society continues to grapple with issues of identity, freedom, and morality, Lucifer's legacy remains a compelling and relevant force. His story invites us to reflect on our own journeys of self-discovery and the challenges we face in pushing against established boundaries. The way we engage with his narrative speaks to our collective quest for understanding and our willingness to confront difficult and often uncomfortable truths. In essence, Lucifer's ongoing evolution in both theology and culture reflects the dynamic nature of human thought and experience. His figure, rich with complexity and depth, continues to inspire and provoke, serving as a powerful symbol of the search for meaning and the struggle to navigate the ever-changing landscape of human existence.